Lights and Sirens, that's inspired by a real life story. 5 o'clock was something you saw but also imagined, not wanting to see
Hmm.
your nephew there. So when you're um, writing, do you find it different at all to think of some other concept that's totally fictitious or at least not so specific to an actual event? Or do you find when
No.
you like, how does that work similarly or differently for you?
The irony of that is that the follow-up album for All Non-Believers that I did after Until the Day was exactly that. It was um, it was a lot different than Until the Day. It would have shown a different side of me, and it's unfortunate that in that record, just for everybody, that little nugget, it's out there. You can go and listen to Until the Day. Right. I mean, for all non-believers, I released the record some time ago, just for people to find. I didn't promote it, just for them to find. But when you listen to that record is the follow-up to Until the Day, and it is 15 years old. So that's the record that has People Time on it with KRS-One. And I say in the video for People Time, there's no expiration date on good music because there isn't. But when you listen to For All Non-Believers, you're listening to other sides of Nonchalant because nobody has the same day every day. Nobody, I don't want to be, so literal. I do, go off and think about other things that I would like to do or, that could possibly happen or so I do have that side of me. I do have the side of me that just wants to dance. I do have the side of me, so for all non-believers, listen to that and see what you think, and you'll get a different perspective of who I was during that time.
Yeah, well, I'm excited to talk about that in a couple minutes because I remember that was the first time I actually met you in person when I got to interview you for All Non-Believers. Went to Cheesecake Factory, I remember that too. But uh back in 98, I believe. So
Hmm.
I'm excited to talk about that. But speaking of the different things with Until the Day, the title track, that was another one where it's like you're living your life like the stars only shine for me. That one was much more optimistic and more, I guess, philosophical or just
Hmm.
emotional.
Hmm.
And that's the thing with Until the Day, the album, with that song in consideration, and then all the other songs we've discussed already,
Hmm.
you had such a diverse amount of song topics and styles and different things. So was that just naturally, or was that something you consciously were like, oh, I want to do one or two songs like this, one or two songs like that, one or two songs like that?
Yeah, no, it's just something that happened organically. So like the song, for example, Thank You. Um, at the end, I went in with this production company. I went to their, it was a small apartment, group of musicians, and we actually worked on a track the day before that we started. And then we got in and we just started, just talking, and they started just playing different music. We're just vibing right now until we can, get back to the other track that we're going to work on. And they played this other track, and it just took me to a whole nother place, and I just started writing something completely different. And that's what came. Thank You just came from that record. So I didn't I guess, for me, I don't say, okay, I'm gonna check this box, I'm gonna write this, check. I'm gonna write this, check. It's just really honestly where the music takes me. If I listen to something and the music will tell me what I want to say from it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm. And then why Until the Day, why it only had, I would argue, probably 9 songs because you had a few interludes on there.
Hmm.
Why did it end up being not longer or more songs? Like, was
The
that just
album.
hmm
I think you know, I I guess I don't know, because it wasn't like we set to do, a certain amount of songs. We're gonna do 10 songs, 12 songs, 9 songs. It was just that's what we did. That it felt good at that point. This is it. This is what we got. We feel good with this body of work. Let's go.
okay? And then with uh the album comes out, it's doing extremely well. 5 o'clock goes gold.
Mhm.
What do you remember about that experience and that recognition to be a gold artist?
Say that again.
Well, what do you remember about just the understanding and it hitting you like, wow, I'm actually a gold artist now. I'm not just a rapper or somebody
Mm,
that's trying to break through. Like I really made it.
hmm.
I'm gold. Like that's a big.
Right. That's interesting because I mean, of course, it's you know that term where they say you really got to slow down and enjoy the moment because everything is happening so fast. And because I didn't have the crew around me. I had people around me, but Black Productions didn't go with me when I got signed. They had their own deal and they still had artists. So they were working. So it was just really myself, and, the people that came along, like my best friend who did my hair and that sort of thing. But, and then I had, management, but I'm so caught up in everything that's happening and still gearing up for the next thing. You really don't have a chance. I didn't really have a chance to be like, wow, that happened for a second, when they presented the plaques to me on stage. And it's just like you're holding the plaques and like, yeah, this happened. But then it was right back to the machine of trying to make the next record. Then on top of that, I started doing radio in the middays. So I was at PGC. Now, I have the hit record. I got 5 o'clock, it's gold. Everything's going well. Now I'm on radio. So I am recording the record as well as in the middays on radio. So I really didn't have a chance to just really soak in the fact that I'm a gold artist and move in that. I'm still in blessed mode of having a gold record, but still in work mode of I still need to crank out another album, to keep this momentum going because we're not known, the DMV is not known for having record after record. So I need to, get back in and create another record.
So
But
then,
I did have, some moments of realizing I was totally aware of the beauty of having the gold record. Don't get me wrong.
no, it's a huge accomplishment. And how then, because I remember PGC and I remember this happening, but why, how did that opportunity come to you and why did you do it as opposed to say, hey, let me revisit that in 6 months or a year because I'm trying to tour or I'm trying to make more music or how or why did it happen at the point that it did happen?
So I went in one day. PGC was having the midday person was on vacation, and they were having guest jocks come in, artists come in. You sit there with a board op. They would run the board, but you just on the radio. So I think I did it. Well, I don't think I did it. I did it. I think Genuine might have did it. Not sure who else, but they had different people come in, and I was, for lack of better terms, a natural. It was just natural for me. So they offered me the position. And they were very accommodating because I was recording in New York. So I would go into the Museum of Television and Radio in Manhattan and record from there, broadcast from there to PGC to DC, and then go back out to Jersey and record. So it worked. It didn't impede on, me making the record or anything. It was a little tiresome because recording all night long and then driving in to the city, what that's like, and then getting them being on the air at 10 and then 10 to 2 and then going back. So it was a little hectic, but it was great because, it allowed me to reach my fans in a whole nother way. They didn't have to wait for my record to come on. I'm talking to them every day, all day long, so it was the perfect, combination of marketing and promotion and connection at the time. And again, like I said, they were very accommodating. So it worked for a while. But the record, we had regime change at MCA Universal. My A&R left. Still working on, I'd begun working on For All Non-Believers. We're in that process, but record labels are record labels and people change and people come in with different ideas. Oh, let's go left instead of right. Things got to pause. And so, that's pretty much what happened. But that's the reason why I decided to go ahead and do radio at the time because it was working. It was working for me.
You got to ride the wave. Speaking
Absolutely.